Welcome to my channel Data Engineering Simplified. In this Snowflake video series, we will learn everything about Snowflake and gain hands-on experience on every unique feature of Snowflake using Snowflake Free Trial Edition. I hope you would enjoy this visual guided tour on Snowflake. So let's start with the second chapter, Snowflake Free Trial Edition registration. So what is covered in this chapter? Self-registration with Snowflake Free Trial Edition worth $400 or 30 days. Understand different cloud providers like AWS, Azure or GCP selection and supported region within these cloud providers. Understand different pricing policies with respect to edition and the cloud providers. Understand the pricing policies with storage and the limitation of VPS edition, which is called Virtual Private Snowflake. A quick walkthrough of web interface, which is also called the legacy web interface, and validating the Snowflake edition for which you have done the registration. So we have seen that we have a total 25 chapters, and a part of this chapter 2, which is a self-registration. These are the things we will understand: how to choose a Snowflake edition, how to choose the right cloud providers and select a region, how to choose compute and storage pricing, create the first system admin user, and validating the Snowflake instance, whether our configurations are right or there are any configurations required to make Snowflake running appropriately.
So before we start, I request you to look into my Snowflake playlist, which covers a lot of topics like SnowPro certification guide, SnowPro certification tutorial, Snowflake connector series, Snowflake features and limitation, and many more such videos. I am getting a lot of positive and constructive feedback from my audience, a lot of success for my certification audience, and those certification videos are very popular. So please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button to get notified of my latest videos and be the first to know more about Snowflake. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
I recommend my audience to go through the Snowflake edition help page, where all the features per edition is listed appropriately as a feature matrix. You can also see how the on-demand and capacity storage is being charged. Here you can click on the pricing page. We'll see it later, but let's see what this page contains. This page contains what is this standard edition, enterprise edition, and business critical edition, and the complete feature matrix, so what all things are supported for each of the edition. So you can go through that and validate whether the edition which you're using is having those features, or if it is not there, why it is not there. Let's go and visit the pricing page. When you click on this pricing page, it will take you to the Snowflake's main website. Here you can see that when you have a standard edition, enterprise edition, business critical, and virtual private Snowflake. Here you can choose the platform. When we say platform, it is either AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. You can choose any one of them, and then it will allow you to choose a region. Okay, so if you go and choose AWS, you can see there are so many regions available. I think it is close to 19. If you go to Azure, the number of region varies. It depends on the cloud provider's support for that region. And if you go for the Google Cloud, it will have a less number of region available. So depending upon your business need or your priority, you can choose the cloud provider as well as the region. Let's see the pricing part. No matter what you have selected, for example, we are selecting US East, and here, the moment I go for that, you can see the standard is costing $2, enterprise is costing $3, and business critical is costing $4. Here on demand is costing $40 per terabyte, and if you are going for the capacity storage, which is where you are paying upfront cost, it will cost you $23 per terabyte. So there is a huge difference, around $17 per terabyte savings. So if you have a terabytes of data and you have a monthly billing, you can imagine that how much you can save if you know that your environment needs upfront storage usage. Okay, now if I change this Azure, and let's see if I choose again East US2, let's see does it change the pricing. So you see that one VPS is available only with AWS. It is not available with Azure or GCP. However, the price does not change. The prices is still $2 for standard, enterprise $3, and business critical $4, right? And the storage is exactly the same like AWS. So the Snowflake pricing and your decision to select platform, whether it is AWS, Azure, or GCP, does not really depend on this cost. So they are all fixed, right? Okay. However, if your business is looking for West Europe or Australia East, these regions are specific to the cloud provider. So you have to really decide that which region you are looking for, and accordingly you have to select the platform. So this is all about the pricing part. Let's go to the self-registration process. So you can click on this button, start for free. A page like this would be loaded the moment you click on the button. Here you have to provide your first name, last name, and the email address and the company information, right? If you do not put the appropriate detail, probably it will start alerting you. So here I have put my detail and I click on the continue button. The moment you provide your detail, it would ask what kind of Snowflake edition you are looking for: standard, enterprise, and business critical. Okay, you can see the difference, a strong balance between feature, level of support, and the cost. Here enterprise is like 90 days time travel, a multi-cluster warehouse, and materialized views. These are not supported in standard edition. And business critical has some more enhanced feature like failover, fallback, and data protection. So for this demo, we will choose enterprise edition. Okay, now it will also ask you to choose your cloud provider, right? So as we have seen in the previous slide, that once you choose your edition, once you choose your cloud provider, then it will allow you to choose the region, which is very, very important, right? So let's click AWS, and the moment you have selected AWS, here you can choose anything. So I would choose US East, Northern Virginia. Okay, and if I choose Azure, right, my selection for region changes automatically. So I have a relatively limited number of regions available. In AWS, I have a more number of regions available. So I'm going with, let's say, US East Ohio. Okay, and I say that yes, I have read all the terms and conditions, and I say click, get started. So once you have completed providing all the detail, it would take a little bit time to set up your account. Once your account setup is done, you will receive an email in your email address. So once your setup is done successfully, you would receive an email which will congratulate you along with the activate button. So let's click on this activate button. As soon as you click on the activate button, it will take you to this page where you have to give your username and password, which would be the first user in the Snowflake account. So for a simplicity, I will give a name called admin and I will give the password. So now my first user got registered successfully, and Snowflake is welcoming us, and it will help you, getting started worksheet here. Okay, you close that one. By default, this first user got a system admin role. However, you also have an account admin role given to you. Let me walk you through this page. So you see that one, since we are using a free trial edition, this pop-up will continue to come. Okay, you can click here and close it. Okay, and it will also have help navigations. So browse all your database objects. So all your database object accessible to this user will be visible to you. Let's see next, what does it say? Here you can preview your data. So this is a preview pane. So now let's see how does it look like. So here you can see that one, you have, change preferences, switch roles, and all those things. So you have by default 5 roles available when you create a first user, right? And as an admin user, I can go to the account admin role, I can go to the public role, I can go to the security admin role, and I can also go to the user admin role, right? Okay, here you can see that one. Here you can see that one, what is my organization? So my organization is called BUGMYXP, and the edition I'm using is enterprise, and what is the cloud provider is called Amazon Web Services, and this region US East Ohio. Until 2020 end, this feature was not available, and it was hard to know which edition you are using it and which cloud provider. So you have to run certain command current region. Now with this feature, it is more easy to know what kind of edition you are using it. Okay, you can also go and change your preferences. So most of the things are self-explanatory in this page. This page is very nice, neat, and clean. Let's quickly go through the different tab available, right? Okay, so if you go to the help, and here you can download a lot of different things about the connectors and all those things. So if you have to download, you can simply go to the help button and download whatever the connectors are required. Here you can also access the apps which is developed within the Snowflake environment, and we will cover it in the next chapter. Here the different databases, what you have it by default, Snowflake has DemoDB, UtilDB, and the sample data DB. Here, if you are using a shared object, these shared objects are available here. If you switch the role from account admin. Once you go to the account admin role, and if you click on the share tab, you would see what all things are shared with you. So this is inbound and outbound. So we are not sharing any data object outside our account, and that's why outbound is completely empty. But if you see that one, there are two objects which is shared, which is called account usage and sample data, and it is shared by Snowflake. Okay, and that's why you can share by Snowflake and Snowflake samples. Okay, and this data is created on this particular date, and we are able to access that one. Okay, this database is available here. You can see that one Snowflake sample data in Snowflake. Okay, I will switch the role back to system admin. This is a market data place. If you want to buy data from the market, you can use this tab, but not generally useful for a normal developer. Warehouses, if you are going to create any warehouses, this is a tab where you can come and create a warehouses of different size. Since we are working on the enterprise edition, you can see that we can create a multi-cluster warehouse. If you are in the standard edition, you will not get option maximum cluster, minimum cluster, and scaling policy. You will only have the name, size, and the auto suspend. Now when you come to the worksheet, which is the one we are going to use most, here you can write your queries, and you can say that select, you can run that one, and you see that one, this is what my role, and you can say, okay, so this is how this thing works. Okay, you can click on this plus icon and you can create as many as worksheet required. Okay, so now as every time you change your worksheet, right, if you want to make sure that you are using a right role, you are using a right warehouses and the right database and the schema, these are the command you can run it. And once you run this command, and let's see what happens to these menus. So it will pop up like this, where you want to run multiple queries, and once you complete all queries, you see that one automatically everything got changed. Alternatively, you can click on this icon and you can change all of them. So you can click any one of them and automatically you would get this pop-up. If you want to resume this warehouses, you can click on this resume button and this warehouse will start automatically. So this is how this page looks like. We will cover more about this legacy web UI in detail. And now we have seen that we have access to all the roles. We have access to all the roles. We have set up our first user called admin, which has a default role called system admin. We are able to change different roles. And how do you know whether the account is working properly or not? Simply go to the warehouse tab, create a warehouse, and see whether you have maximum cluster, minimum cluster, and scaling policy available or not. If these options are not available, probably you are not in the enterprise and above version. From here, you can go to the preferences from here. So you can click on the preferences and you can land to this page where you can also enable your multi-factor authentication for your organization. So multi-factor authentication can only be enabled from your user account. An admin or your account admin cannot enable the multi-factor authentication. The multi-factor authentication is by default activated for all Snowflake editions. You can go and you can enable the multi-factor authentication to make sure that your Snowflake instance is not misused. We have a dedicated chapter covering the entire legacy web UI, and you will come to know about everything, how to use the legacy web UI. So what we have learned in this chapter, we have pretty much covered the self-registration process, how to create a free 30 days trial edition account with Snowflake. We can use either AWS, Azure or GCP, and we can choose any edition, and we can also choose any available region within the cloud provider. Different cloud provider and their pricing model, we have seen that the cloud provider and the pricing model are having no relationship. However, the VPS is not available for Azure and GCP. High level feature different and different Snowflake editions, so we have seen that one. We have created our first system admin role, and we have accessed the legacy web UI. We have also validated our instance and checked what kind of edition my instance is having and in which cloud provider the instance is running. So what's our next chapter? Snowflake Architecture, very important chapter. Thank you for watching this Snowflake video tutorial series. If you have any constructive feedback or area of improvement or anything else, please share your comment. Refer to the description section below for additional documentation, tutorial links, and supporting reading materials. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get notified of my latest videos and data engineering educational content. Please like and share the video with your team and other Snowflake enthusiasts. I have a disclaimer before I end this video. Snowflake Cloud Data Warehouse is a software as a service and hence upgrade itself more frequently and also enhances its existing features and fixes bugs on a weekly basis. By the time you finish watching this video, some of the features will change or upgrade or become obsolete. Hence, my recommendation to my audiences is to refer to the latest Snowflake documentation besides referring to my video content. You can see a release note screenshot from the Snowflake. I also add those upgrades, updates, and deprecated item if applicable in the context of this video content in the description section, as well as pin them as my first content so you don't carry any incorrect information from this video. Once you finish watching this video, please go down and refer if there are corrections required for this video. Thank you and happy learning.